Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about my personal top 3 new features of the Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition Scenario Editor. Because there have been a lot of additions for the editor in H2DE, and some are more exciting than others, but there's just so much stuff, so I'll just get right into it. So starting off here, we got terrain layering. So terrain mixing or terrain blending has been something which was very important in the editor. Like if you wanted to create some nice scenarios, then yeah, you would like to have many different kinds of terrains, having them kind of blend nicely into each other, and some were having better transitions into each other than others. So for example, if you got here, I think this is grass 1 in the background, and you see here on these edges that it is a relatively harsh border between this dirt 1 and the grass. So if you wanted this to flow a little bit better into each other, then you would, for example, utilize dirt 2. There we go, just a little bit more grass-like, and then go for dirt 3 finally. So you'll have a softer transition from dry desert land to grassland. But now, so once again you want to have a transition from dirt 1 to grass. So we'll just start with a whole bunch of dirt. There we go. And you notice here a little bit of eye candy also. Can enable or disable that here. Let's put dirt 1 next to it. So really just a basic setup to give you an idea what this is about. And there is the dirt 3. But it's very, I mean, in a larger scale you see those borders quite clearly. But what you can do now is to activate layering mode. Which this will do is that you're kind of painting under the other terrain. So you see here, this is now a mix between dirt 1 and dirt 2, so it has characteristics of both. You can also do it like this, that the dirt 1 is under dirt 2. It is flowing into each other a bit nicer. You have more steps to take here. There we go. And that is basically the idea between layering. Also, something I should mention here is that you layer with water. So let's go over here to water. Let's take the brown water, and you put that under grass. That will look a little bit marshy. But this still has all the properties of the top layer. So the top layer, which you do like this is always the property of the terrain. So this is water, so ships can sail over this area. But if you're just layering water somewhere, then this is still land terrain. At the same time, if you got water and you would layer some, let's say, some rock below this, it would still function as water, because only the layering layer is actually land and the main layer still is water. So that's about layering. Now coming towards the next point of this video, which is the second thing I wanted to show you here today, which are all of the new editor objects, the new units and all that stuff. So I'll just go through it. I've got a long line of new things I want to show you. This you already probably know from my editor showcase video. This is the flaming camel. Well, it just looks like a camel with a lot of straw on it, but as soon as you get it to walk somewhere, as long as it's moving, you see these flames on top. Some interesting things like these Iroquois warriors, the ninja, This here is actually not a hero unit, despite the glowing effect. It doesn't have regenerating health. And you got the Ox Cart and the Ox Wagon. Photon Man, which is a cheat unit. Xolotl Warrior is an Aztec Knight, basically. When you have a Mesoamerican Civ and convert a stable, you get access to the Xolotl. Now we're coming over here to the heroes section. There are just so many new models for all those heroes. So I got here a 200 swordsman. I think William Wall is also using the same one. We have a lot of new cavalry heroes. So oftentimes they're just variations of cavalry archers, but they're always small details, like they got a different horse color, they got a new spear, different helmet, maybe they don't wear a helmet at all, and all of this gives a lot of more option, more variation optically. It's actually not an eagle, but it looks in many ways similar to an eagle warrior, but yeah, has some heroic stuff going on. You see this here is a elephant, but you actually see the hero sitting on top of the elephant with the crown. Here, this one, interesting thing, Ivailo is both available in mounted and foot version. So if the mounted version dies, there we go, he just gets up again. Lovely thing. I thought first of all it was a slinger, but she has a pole arm in his hand, a traditional Inca weapon. Subutai, which is very interesting in the regard that he's the only hero unit which doesn't actually have player colors. Then there is Vlad Dracula, looking very cool here. I never liked the Boga model for this guy, so definitely nice to have a unique hero unit here as well. Then Vitautas the Great, I think, has a custom shield and a custom horse. And Yodit is actually not a Gebeto. She looks like one, but she has a little bit different clothes, and I think the crown or the headgear, whatever it is, also is different. So that's definitely a... yeah, for example, if you would do a Gebeto and then have an upgraded version of the Gebeto, also optically upgraded version, you could give the upgraded version the Yodit style. That's something I could come up with. So all of those hero units give you a lot of options. For example, this one could be a elite version of the yeah, how is it called? The spear throwing cavalry unit. Okay, but that's not all, because we also got new buildings. I mean, some of those here, the city walls have been here already. I think the city gate might be new. Not entirely sure on this. We got 3 different versions of bridges now. We got those chains, which are also used here as part of the sea gate. So we had sea walls before, but now they actually also are partly underwater, which is nice. But just a fair bit of warning, if you place them on land, this underwater part still kind of looks like it's underwater, but it takes the color of the land, so it looks like it's half under the grass, but you can see through the grass. It's a little bit strange looking, but only if you just zoom in very close. And of course the matching sea tower with the fundament here. And this here, very interesting, is a packed town center. So you can unpack this. Let's just each here. And boom, there is a town center. Very nice. I think you can also do this via trigger, so have a pack town center and then let it unpack via trigger. But if you're doing something with triggers, then you of course have a lot of other options. Anyways, and now coming to something really crazy. Statues. Not only do you have both directions of well, the normal university guy statue, but you got an insane number. Like, all of those are unique ones. Some are variations of each other, like a little bit more clean and a little bit more dirty version. This one got a different kind of bricks here. But just look at all those you got of all different cultural backgrounds. You can now use statues without them looking off, so you can make your cities look really well if it's just something Aztec. Or what is this? An Egyptian one? Just look like something Persian, good Asian, Roman maybe. Celtic ones. There's just a lot of variation. That's good. And of course, Roman ruins here, those gates, you got walls, new flags, and yeah, there's just an amazing amount of stuff to explore and to make your scenarios just look really, really nice. And now coming to my number one, the most impressive of all of the impressive new additions to the editor, which is that you now have access to units attributes. So just a little quick demonstration. You see this is a storage, which is usually a pretty useless building, but now you can train legionaries here, which also you're not only able to train them, but you can also see the stats of those units. You see custom descriptions of those, which are usually they don't have any, but you can add anything you want. And you can also do some pseudo technologies here. That's a little bit more advanced, but the editor allows you to do this. And the modify attribute gives you just access to so many attributes of the units. Like something really basic like hit points, line of sight. Also can edit the size of a unit, the hitbox. For example, if you make them really small, then you could maybe have even tighter packed formations. Some fun things like these. You have line of sight, which is actually quite important that you get line of sight, attack range, and aggression range. Where is it? Search radius, I think it is. Are now separate, which they previously were not. So you can have a unit which has a very high line of sight, but very low aggression range, for example, or very high range, but it only starts shooting once they are like getting too close. What else? You have blast radiuses, you have the number of projectiles they shoot, which units they spawn when they're dead, so if they should just spawn a corpse, or if they should spawn another unit, another building maybe. All of those things could work. You can edit their costs, you can give them regeneration rates, you can make them a hero. There's just so many different things you can do. You can also edit villagers with work rate and carrying capacity. You can make a village super good, or maybe if it's a harsh winter, then you can make a village a little bit less effective. Yeah, you can do all sorts of crazy things with these. Okay, but I think you kind of got an idea of the amount of things you can now do. All sorts of crazy new ideas are currently going through my head, so I still need to figure out what I want to do first with the editor, because there's just so many new things to explore. The next editor related content I planned was to do something about how to, basically this little, there we go, this is what I just showed you, the legionaries, how to do this, that you can train units in a building, give them custom stats, give them custom icons, you can change the speed they get produced at, and all of those things. I think they'll just do it. This video's been going on long enough. I'll do a separate tutorial video with nice clean structure that you can follow along. That was the idea anyways, but for now this is all I wanted to show you. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Goodbye.